Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on Platinum. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started, right? Cheers. So for those who know me know that we always start with the weekly and daily time frames to know where we stand in the market. Are we overall bullish? Are we overall bearish, or are we stuck inside a range, right? So, and we also draw our support and resistance from these time frames. And as you clearly see, we've got this support and resistance and this support and resistance. The reason why is because here it was acting as a support, and we've got many rejections from it. It was rejecting price upward, then price broke it downward, so it's now acting as a potential resistance, and as price approaches it again, we'll be looking for sell setups. That's for the green one. And for the blue one, here we've got a very strong area. It was acting as resistance previously, then price broke it upward, so it's now acting as a potential support, right? And yes, and regarding this zone, it is an entire zone, as you can see, and it's a very big zone. First of all, because we have a resistance here, right? Here's our resistance zone, but I didn't draw this level to make the chart cleaner. And if we zoom in, we can see that we also have a demand area here, as price made an aggressive movement upward from it. And here we've got a supply area, as price made an aggressive movement down from it. So when price approaches the supply again, we'll be looking for sell setups and so on. So this one is acting as a demand area. And to make the chart cleaner, I didn't draw it as an area, but as a level. And we'll be looking for buy setups around this entire zone. And here we've got a support. Here we go, as mentioned when when I was zooming out, and we've got a support. But the reason why I drew it as a level to make the chart cleaner again, and because this level is a very strong round number 1K. Right, so now from weekly time frame, we know that price rejected our resistance and it's now going downward. So that's why as price approaches our first rejection area, which is in this case the demand zone, we'll be looking for buy setups, knowing that price can still go a little bit down to test this support and around number 1K before going upward. Now we know well in the market, we can zoom into lower time frames. For example, on daily time frame, we can see that we are overall bullish, and we also can add from the daily time frame this non-horizontal support, right? So this area is a very strong area now because it is the intersection of this horizontal support and demand and this non-horizontal trend line or non-horizontal support, which is our brown trend line. So now we know where we are going to look for longs and why. Now we can zoom into lower time frames and try to find entry opportunities. So from H4, we can also see that we have this trend line. We can keep it or delete it for now, as we already know that we've got a demand area around here, right? So that's why around this entire area, we'll be looking for buy setups, which we also have this one as I showed you before. This level is the demand area, but I do it as a level to make the chart cleaner. So for now, if you want, let's keep it to make it easier for us. If we zoom in, we can see that from a market structure perspective, we are overall bearish, right? As you can see, price is making low lows, lower highs, lower lows, and lower highs, right? Lower high, and so on, and lower low again and again and again. So we are currently overall bearish, and we are currently in the corrective phase. So impulse pushing price downward, small corrective, big impulse, small corrective, and so on. And you don't want to buy a bearish market. So we are now overall bearish. If we zoom out, we can see that this bearish movement is simply the corrective movement of the entire bullish or the long-term bullish trend. So big impulse movement pushing price upward, small corrective, big impulse, small corrective, and so on. Big impulse, the last one was a very big impulse, and we are currently in the corrective movement. And the reason why we are looking for buy setups is because price is approaching this demand and this support area. But we can't really know from where price will reverse. That's why we always zoom in to lower time frames and wait for the buyers to prove to us that they are taking over. So for now, the sellers are in full control, and even from a short-term perspective, right? But since it's from H4, it's a medium-term perspective. From long-term perspective, we are overall bullish, and now we are in the corrective phase on from H4 time frame, which you can see here. But we want the buyers to prove to us that they are taking over. And we want the buyers to prove to us taking over by breaking above the previous swing high. So as you can see, the price couldn't break below the previous swing high yet, right? So, and instead making low lows and low highs. So we are still overall bearish, but since we are sitting around the support, we'll be looking for buy setups. We'll be waiting for the momentum to be shifted from bearish to bullish, and that's when we are interested in buying, because our support is an entire area, and even the demand area is an entire zone, right? And it's not a laser line. That's why we don't buy immediately around support or around demand. Always wait for extra confirmation. So as you can see, the one you saw from H4, the overall bearish trend, we can draw a channel, as you can see in red, showing the upper bound of the range and lower bound of the range. Moreover, we do have this short-term trend line, as you can see in orange. So for now, as mentioned before, we are overall bearish, and it's not a good idea to buy. However, we are sitting around the support area. That's why we are looking for buy setups, knowing that platinum can still go down and down to around here to get more liquidity to be able to push price higher. And anyway, we will not buy now, right? We want extra confirmation, which would be what? Which would be the buyers breaking above the previous high. As simple as that. So in this case, we'll be waiting for a third swing high to form around this orange trend line, or this or this red trend line, to consider it first of all valid, and second consider it as our trigger swing, and then and only then we'll be interested in buying platinum after a momentum candle close above this swing, as you can see here. And of course, when the buy is activated, our stop loss would be just below the previous swing low, and we target a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, which would be, as you can see, around the upper green resistance. And in this case, as price approaches this area, we will be looking for sell setups around it. So long story short, on platinum, we are overall bearish. We are approaching a support, so we'll be looking for buy setups. Meanwhile, until a buy setup is activated, whether it's here or here, or if price, as mentioned before, forms a new swing around our orange trend line, and then we'll enter buy on spec upward, right, until a buy setup is formed, or even if price now goes down and forms new buy setups on lower time frames, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. But until this happens, we would be overall bearish, and platinum would be trading inside this channel, and of course, the lower it gets, the higher probability setup it will get, because price would be approaching a demand and a support, as mentioned, from weekly time frame. So that's it for platinum, and I'll see you on the next one.